So yeah, we've been married for 5 years, and it's easily the longest 5 years of my life. And we're here to give you some unsolicited relationship advice. And the first bit of advice I would like to give is right here in this mug. This is raw milk. And you better be drinking raw milk if you want to have a good relationship with your wife. Right, Tatiana?
I do agree. Sure.
So,
sure. Yeah. You want to be getting advice from people who are qualified, right?
That's
Biblically,
true.
You want wise counsel, right? So why are we qualified? Because,
we have a good marriage with 3 beautiful children. We have a loving relationship, even though I have to carry all the burden all the time. Holding this relationship together. Right, Tatiana?
Yeah, I don't do anything.
That's right.
I just kind of show up, hang out, and make your life harder than it needs to be.
Nobody would disagree with that.
Longer, more enduring and tedious.
Yeah, if you're the man in a marriage, you basically just have a really heavy backpack on, and you just have to carry it all the time. No, to be honest with you guys.
No, I'm supposed to be making your life better.
Yes. The Proverbs are correct. He who finds a wife finds a good thing, if you find a good wife. So, what was it? Socrates who said that either a man finds a good wife or he becomes a philosopher. And
I've seen that in real life.
That is 100% a true statement. Thank you, Socrates. We're claiming him as Christian, apparently, as the church. So
I'm not.
Yeah, Tatiana.
I don't know anything about that.
Very close to the truth. Very close. So, yeah, what is it like being married, and what is our unsolicited advice to you guys? Because we are, in a sense, big brother, big sister in Christ, but we're married.
We're just your big sister.
Yeah, we're just giving you some advice that you didn't ask for.
Can you tell a story?
We were recently together, and I was talking to a single guy. I think he was 24, 25, something like that. And I could tell, just because I'm a young guy, I could tell he wanted to get married. He wanted a girlfriend. He wanted to get married. He wants a family, right? Like any based Chad young man does. He wants to get married and have offspring. It's good, right? It's a good desire. Yeah. You should want to get married. And I could just tell, just by talking to him. So I started giving him some unsolicited relationship advice. Where to find a girlfriend, what kind of girl you should be looking for, where, all the really important stuff, right? Totally unsolicited. And while I was talking to him, my beautiful wife, Tatiana, came in, and I just said to her, hey, give him some advice. And it turned into this whole thing, which was really funny because this poor guy did not ask for any of it. And you could tell that even though he didn't ask for it, he was really enjoying hearing it. So that's what we're here to do today. We're here to give you guys some unsolicited relationship advice because people need it. I've been seeing a lot of relationships, people getting into relationships with people that they shouldn't be. And I'm just like, man, people need some help out here because it's hard. I mean, I was just single, not even 5 years ago, right? And it's a hard dating market, even 5 years ago, and it's only getting worse. So, yeah, we're here to give relationship advice. Maybe in the next talk that we do, we can give the advice to the young bachelors on where to find those girls. But today we're going to be giving marriage advice.
Unsolicited marriage advice from your big brother and your big sister.
Yeah.
Who just care about you.
Yep, even though we don't know you that well. But yeah, leave a comment. Tell us who you are.
Dox yourself.
Yeah. Feel free to dox yourself. So, what is some good advice that you would give to just a fresh marriage? They just got married. They're just back from their honeymoon. Hopefully already pregnant. Right? Hopefully. That's the whole point of a honeymoon, if you didn't know. Tell them the story. Where does honeymoon even come from, Tatiana? Do you know the origins? I actually don't know. Okay, I'll tell the story then.
I thought I was...
I'll answer the question that I asked you.
Okay.
Honeymoon. The whole point of a honeymoon was that after you got married, what they would do is they would give you what is called a moon of alcohol. So they would give you this thing as like a mead. That's what's called honeymoon. They'd give you this big bottle of alcohol, and they would send you off to go drink this together so that you can hopefully come back from your honeymoon with a baby.
With child.
Yeah. Bearing child. And now we know the dangers of alcohol and fresh babies in the oven. But hey, that's for another time.
Hey, it worked for thousands of years.
Yeah. So anyway, Tatiana.
All right, well,
what is some advice that you would give?
You asked, because we also were just in this situation. We were just in this situation where we did meet with a young couple, this guy that we've known for a few years through evangelism. He just got freshly married to a beautiful young woman, and they just went on their honeymoon, and we sat down with them for lunch and got a babysitter for our kids, and we just started giving them some unsolicited advice.
No, they asked me.
Oh, did they?
They were asking.
Okay, good. Because you don't want to be that person that's all the time, like, just... I mean, you really don't. But anyway...
Like you're being right now.
Well, people, you can...
Yeah, you don't have to click on this video.
Yeah, like, I don't...
This is your fault if
I'm
you
not
didn't want this
trapping
advice.
you, okay? I'm not trapping you or doing anything. So anyway, yeah, my first advice was don't wait to have kids. I do think that we hear a lot, take that time in the beginning where it's just you and just your spouse and, really lay that solid foundation. And I just think that the design of marriage that God has ordained is to be fruitful and multiply, that we are meant to come together as two and become one flesh, right? So there's two, and then we make a baby who's one flesh made in our image. And nothing bonds you closer as two Christians. Well, it's funny.
It's so true.
It's just true. Nothing bonds you closer. Like, okay, what are you doing when it's just the two of you? You're just watching some movies and you're not doing anything. It was really once we started having kids that the glue started really cementing. And but it's true. And just as a woman, as a mom, and that's what I'm charged to do as a woman. As a Titus 2 woman, if that's what I'm striving to be, I'm supposed to help teach the younger women how to love their husbands and their children better. So you should be having children, and you'll have that time in the beginning. You'll have the time when it's just the two of you, because it takes 9 months for that baby to come. So you'll have that time. And I do think that you're not gonna miss it, because you can still spend time together alone without kids after you have kids, and kids are just the best, and they're just so much fun. There's no reason not to have them.
Yeah, and you get to the point when you have those kids where it's like, let's say you have a kid, right, and then you give them off to some babysitter or something like that for a few hours. After like hour 3, you're just like, where's my child? I need my child. Like it gets to that weird point where it's like you almost need them around, and you start to realize it's like, wait a minute, like what would life have been like if I never had this child? And it's like so crazy to even think about, and it's almost unthinkable in a lot of ways, because it is such a blessing to have children. And that's what the Bible says. That's what we believe 100%. You should be having children. You should be being fruitful and multiplying. And it is a blessing for your marriage as well. A lot of people that we talk to, they just don't like their kids at all. But I feel like that is a misprioritization. And maybe that's something we could talk about too.
We should.
Just if you are getting married and you are going to have children, let's say that you are, which you should be. If you are, you need to be setting your priorities straight. If you are a man, if you have hobbies, those basically need to go away almost. When we first got married, I was still playing a lot of video games, tons of video games, and this was a huge mistake. If you're getting married and you have a child, that needs to go away almost immediately. I'm not saying you have to quit completely, but just your priorities need to be realigned. You can't be playing video games for the same amount of time. If you play golf, you can't go golfing every Saturday, every Sunday or something like that. You need to be putting those things in the back burner. And when you're a father, that's your new hobby. You're a father, so you get to raise your kids. Congratulations, that's your new hobby. And I don't know how that goes for girls. Girls, you get a little easier because you're just I don't know. Once you have that baby, it's like it's glued to you. All your hobbies go away naturally. But for the men, it's different.
It's so much easier.
It's so much easier for you.
Yeah.
It just happens.
Okay.
But not
I'm glad
for me.
I made it look easy.
Yeah,
Because it
yeah.
wasn't. It was not easy. It's still not easy. But
She's
is it
lying.
worth it? Yes.
She's totally lying.
It is not easy.
Yeah.
You're rage baiting me.
I am. That's right.
Okay, so off of that, my next advice, and sorry, I have a little cold, so I'm kind of like clearing my throat and trying not to sneeze. But my other unsolicited advice, number one for the female in the relationship, is when your husband is sinning, it is your job as the helpmeet to help him come out of that sin. It's not your job to be the accuser of the brethren and point your finger at him and tell him all the reasons that he's sinning and how much he sucks and how you deserve so much better and be going behind his back and telling all your friends about how he's not helping you and you never get what you need and just degrading him.
This has never happened, for the record. I've always been a perfect husband since the beginning.
Oh, I thought that you were going to say, this has never happened. My beautiful, lovely wife has never gone out and just talked bad about me, which I haven't. So
that was one of the things we said that we would do very early on in our marriage, that if there was a problem with your spouse, the first person you need to talk to is your spouse, not your girlfriends, not your guy friends, whatever. You go and you talk to your spouse about it first. Yeah. You don't want to go off and slander your spouse. Oh my gosh. Guys, I mean...
That's so destructive.
Guys are so guilty of this. I mean, it's just like...
It's really bad.
In their vocabulary. It's just like the first thing that's coming out of their mouth, no matter what they're doing, is like, oh yeah, the old wife did this, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, dude, like... Is this how you like think about your wife all the time? This is not healthy. So yeah, don't slander your wife in front of your friends. Wives, I mean, don't do that either. So
yeah, I think a way to say, well, what do you replace that with, right? There are times when you do need counsel. Marriage is upheld within the community of believers, and people, Christians within your church, should be doing everything that they can to uphold your marriage, because marriage is really difficult. It's a long, enduring, laborious task that is well worth the riches and rewards, but it's hard work. So when you do need advice, which you will need advice, you better, if you're going to talk about your marriage outside of your marriage, you'd better be doing it for the purposes of restoration, reconciliation, and seeking counsel in order, to uphold your marriage. So you should only, you should only be going to people who are going to do that. You don't want to go to someone, especially I would say like as a woman, you would not want to go to another woman who is just going to affirm everything that you're saying. Yeah, screw that guy. You deserve so much better. He doesn't know what he's got. No, you need to go. I'm serious.
I know.
You need.
Trust me. That's why I'm laughing.
Okay.
I know.
Okay.
I know.
You need to go to someone who is going to help you see what's actually reality, because we do have a lot of emotions and we will be right about a lot of things. But you need someone who is going to remind you of your role in the marriage, your role to your brother in Christ who is suffering in those times. When your brother is sinning, they're in a time of suffering. And you as the helpmeet are supposed to come and help them out of that, as they are for, I'm only talking to the women here. So when you need to go to someone who is not going to think ill of your spouse when you confess things to them in order to seek reconciliation. You don't want to be going to someone who is going to then think evil or less than of your spouse. You want to go to someone who is going to also be capable of forgiving them for whatever they're doing and help give you the advice, the validation to move forward and help and figure out the way to help your spouse see what they're doing is wrong and how to help them out of it. Because the offshoot of that is to not be the nagging wife.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nagging has never worked, like literally ever. I mean, both ways. I mean, guy nagging the girl nagging the guy. It's not a becoming way of communicating. It's not a effective way of getting them to actually do what you want them to do, right? It's just not it's negative reinforcement at best.
Yeah, I think that could be a whole episode in and of itself. Episode, I don't know what we're doing right now, but that's a whole talk
it's
in and of itself
Yeah.
of why doesn't nagging work and what to do instead.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
Yeah.
Because it's the natural response that most people have, is just to start harping on them, rag on them, and usually people let things bubble up way too long before they even say anything, and if you do that, it's just gonna get really bad. You got to nip these things in the bud really, really quickly. It's like any sin. You got to get it early, and you got to get a hold of it and figure it out. So yeah. So, other pieces of advice, Tatiana, do you have anything?
Well, I was actually going to think that you should have a turn, because I would like to talk more about the nagging, but I don't want to be the whole one. I don't want to be just like going off on this tangent, because then people are going to be like, oh, this is all about women.
It is all about women. There's a reason why Proverbs says it like 5 times, okay?
Yeah, so...
I'm just kidding.
I do think we should talk about that, but I want to hear about... your prayer thing.
Okay, yeah, so one of the biggest things that I have ever received as like advice in relationships, and this is definitely more for the men than for the women, is when your wife is going through a hard time, when she needs something or has some kind of difficulty going on. Basically, what she is going to do is she's going to come to you and she's going to talk to you about it. And hopefully, and she's going to basically be pouring out her emotions, her feelings, and the guy's natural reaction, especially if this does happen more frequently, is going to be like, I am so burdened by you. You are heavy on my back, right? I'm dragging you along. I have to keep affirming. I have to keep doing, and it's like you have all these thoughts, and sorry women, sorry wives, men, we just don't like talking about our feelings very much, and we also get sick of hearing about other people's feelings. It's like when guys go golfing all the time, we don't complain about our feelings. And sorry, I don't go golfing, so I don't really know that, but yeah, it's just it does get tiresome sometimes. But one of the...
You should tell me.
No, I can't say that. You can't say that to your wife.
Well, not in the moment, but you just say, hey, I need a little break.
Listen, wife, I can't do this right now. It's never going to go well. So... So the advice that I have for you, it comes from the book of Genesis. When Abraham, is having just struggles with his wife can't bear children. Sarai can't bear children, and she's going and asking like, why? I really want a son. She's complaining about it to Abraham, and Abraham, goes and consults the Lord immediately. He goes and he prays and he talks to God about it, and God gives him his promises and everything. And the same thing goes on with Isaac, his son. His wife struggles to bear children. He goes and he prays about it. He consults the Lord first. But then you get to Jacob. And Jacob, his wife, is it Rachel? I can't remember.
Leah is the one. That's
Leah. Yeah. So Rachel. Rachel is the one who complains to him, and she says, "Give me a child, or I'll die." That's like literally what she says to him. And the first thing he says is not, "Oh, let me go pray and ask God about this." The first thing he says is, "What, am I in the place of God that I can open your womb and close your womb?" And he rebukes her like on the spot. And after reading those, and you just think like, do I want to be like Jacob, who doesn't go to God on behalf of my wife? I don't care about her problems enough to go to God and ask him about it and see what's going on. I'm going to rebuke my wife instead. Even though she's having all of these emotions and struggling it, I'm going to rebuke her rather than intercede. Yeah, because that's what a husband does. A husband is the head of the wife. He's the one who's supposed to be going to God for the wife's intercessions. Not saying wives can't pray to God or something, but but it's the role of the husband is to intercede to God for his wife, and it's a powerful thing. And for guys, when your wife is having difficulties and maybe going through a really rough patch in life where a lot of things are happening, which is going to happen when you're married, you need to, your first thought when she comes to you shouldn't be, oh great, this again, or something. It shouldn't be that, right? It should be, I need to pray for my wife. And honestly, you can even lay your hands on your wife and just pray for her on the spot. Just be like, she needs some help right now, God, help us out here. And it's going to change the entire mindset of the entire conversation that you're about to have. Rather than you being like knocking your head right, you're going to be like, okay, we're in this together. God's going to help us. It's going to be better, right? That's significantly better than just not loving life at all. So, yeah. What do you think about that?
Well, it does work. It does work.
It does work.
I have a few thoughts off of it. The first one being, if I was pouring out my emotions and you rebuked me in that moment, I would feel like that was very harsh. We always say that, like a woman is like a gentle flower.
Yeah.
Like you don't want to crush
flower.
the gentle flower. No matter how strong or amazing or beautiful that flower looks, it is still a flower and is very gentle and easily crushed.
Yeah.
Women are easily crushed. That's why. So it was making me think how, husbands are supposed to love their wives, but wives are supposed to respect their husbands. Mm-hmm. So going back towards the nagging thing. All right, we already know, don't nag. That's really, really difficult. I do think that part of the nagging is women not seeing that their nagging is actually the sin of them trying to lead because they're the ones giving all the orders, right? And it's not going to work. That's why it's not going to work, because you're not the leader. Your husband's the leader. So if you're trying to lead him all day, he's going to go in the opposite direction. And if you're constantly leading him to do this and do that, well, that's probably why he's turning into a couch potato who's not doing anything. And that's his fault. I get it. But again, we're the helpmeet. We bear responsibility just as the husband does. We're equal partners, like you were saying. You both bear responsibility, and every problem that you're having in your marriage, it's both your guys' fault. I don't even care. You guys both need to be helping each other get over it. So, but my, I guess, positive side of advice for women that I give is you need to be so clear in your communication. You cannot just abundantly overly clear. Like I was just at the park. Yeah, I was just at the park with one of my friends, and she was telling me, she was she's about to have another baby, and she's thinking about some changes that they could make in their household in order to lighten the load during this time. But she's having a hard time making that decision. And she told me, I wish that my husband would just make the decision for me. I wish that he would just say, hey, let's stop doing this for a time, just so that she could have that burden removed. And I told her, well, you should just tell him that. You need to be abundant. There are some times where I say, like, babe, I cannot make a decision here. I'm not capable of it. This is too burdensome for me. I really need you to take this burden. I need you to
happened.
Yeah, I need you to make this decision for me because I can't do it. Like, I'm coming to you. There's lots, right? The Proverbs 31 woman, her husband has full confidence in her. We are given so much authority in our own households. The head of the household gives capable women so much authority to make decisions and do things, but we are the weaker vessel, and that's why we have a head. That's why we have a covering who is going to help protect us and who isn't going to break. We're, under the stress, this weaker vessel is going to fracture and crack before this vessel is going to. So when that happens, you just need to be completely straight up. You need to say, I can't do this. I need your help here. Off of that, if you have so many wonderful emotions and they really need to come out and you really need someone to listen and not fix all your problems, you can just say that.
Yeah, this is huge. All right. Don't miss anyone who's listening. Do not miss this part. Husbands, there are so many times where a wife will come to you and say, I have all of these issues and all this, and you're going to want to fix them all. Because that's what men do.
That is great.
But there is a time to fix things, and there is a time to just let her talk. And more often than not, it's a talking moment. More often than not. Usually, I'll be honest with you guys, the woman already knows what the solution is, but she just needs to talk it out and then come to the solution almost naturally through talking it out.
Well, I was going to say it's the talking. Like, we don't consciously know the solution. We have to talk through.
And then the solution comes out.
And then it comes out. Yeah. Okay.
So you just got to let them talk. They'll figure it out.
And you are helping.
Yeah, you're helping just by listening.
You are helping.
You are helping.
But as the wife.
Say yes. I understand. Yes.
Okay, so you're giving the male side right now. Yeah. But so the female side is if you know you're just going to emotion dump or word dump and you just need someone to listen, you can just walk up to your spouse and you can just say, "Hey babe, I'm having trouble, whatever. I just need you to listen. I just need to talk and I just need you to listen. And then we can figure out a solution after, but right now I just need you to listen."
Yeah.
And then when that time is over, the husband is not going to magically know when the wife transitions. Yeah, when that's time. So then you need to say, "Okay, thanks for listening. Now I need a solution." I mean, you need to be so overly communicative, so overly
Men
clear.
don't pick up hints.
Yeah. Another example. Yeah, I mean, and it's, no hints. Stop hinting.
They are not picking anything up. We are not picking up any hints.
No, and women they'll delude themselves. I mean, sorry to say this so bluntly.
It's true.
But women will delude themselves into thinking that their husband literally hates them, doesn't care about them,
and
ignores
everything.
them.
They haven't said anything.
They're just
dropping hints. They have no idea.
And it's like
the husband is just.
Yeah, he doesn't speak that language.
I don't hear anything.
The language that you're speaking, he doesn't speak. He doesn't speak it. So how does he know? And give him the benefit of the doubt. This man married you. Okay? He doesn't hate you. But women also need a lot of affirmation. Yeah. I mean, we need all the time. We need a lot of affirmation. If you need affirmation, so you need to start looking inward. You need to start praying and asking God, what do I need right now? What do I need? You need to become mature enough to become self-aware enough to recognize what it is that you even need as a person so that you can communicate it effectively to your spouse and then give him the free will choice to fulfill that need or deny that need. And if he denies your need, if he's just like, "I don't want to give you a hug." If you need a hug, first of all, in the middle of the things that I hear from women, why won't he just give me a hug? I'm crying. I'm sitting there, why won't he just give me a hug? And I'm like, well, did you ask? How does he know that you need a hug? Maybe after you've been married for 5, 10, 15 years, he'll just know. But if you've been married for not even a year, how is he going to know that when you're crying in the middle of the night, all you need is a hug? Yeah. You can just say, "Can you hug me? I really need a hug. Can you give me a hug?" They're not going to not give you a hug.
Usually.
Yeah. I'm just saying, if you have married each other in good faith, that you love each other, that's why you got married. I'm pretty much betting that he's probably going to give you a hug when you kindly ask for one.
Yeah. And this goes into another thing is men are very much like hammers. We just like to fix things and break things sometimes, and women are really that delicate flower. Very delicate. Nice. Delicate. Right. And
it's true.
And it's important for men to be like that hammer and that strong person for them to lean on, right? Women need to be supported. They do. And men too. I mean, of course, but in a different way for women.
We're talking in a marriage.
In a marriage, yeah. Women in marriage need to be supported by their husband, and you as a husband need to be that strong stone, that strong foundation for her to cling to, and doing that will give her the actual ability to be that delicate, beautiful flower that you want her to be. If you want your wife to be submissive, you want her to be feminine, you want her to be beautiful, you need to step in and be the foundation that's actually going to protect her. And you see this a lot today with feminists and things like that, where they're angry at men. They're struggling to be men themselves. They want to be, but they can never be that strong foundation. It's always awkward when a woman is trying to be a man because they can never be a man. They're always going to be really bad at it. But this is why this is going on in the world today, because a lot of men have kind of relinquished this as being the strong foundation for women. Most feminists I know just hate men because they've failed in being men. You see young girls who are abused and then they turn into,
Or abandoned.
And then they decide, I need to take care of myself. I need to do everything myself. And this is just not natural for really anybody, but especially for women. They need that foundation, and that's when they can actually be the beautiful flower, the gentle, nice flower that they need to be and want to be. They really do want to be that, and you gotta be there for them so that they can do it.
Yeah, the word that I would use is security. Like, everyone knows that women, what they desire. I mean, anyone with wisdom knows that what women desire most is security.
Yeah.
So, like, in the beginning of a marriage, and especially in the beginning of having kids, I think the man starts feeling this urgency, this need to go out and provide and to provide that security. But just bringing in the finances does not provide the kind of security that the woman's looking for.
It helps.
It helps. Of course it helps. She needs to be able to depend on you to provide financially. That's like bare minimum.
Yeah.
Okay, that's bare minimum. What she really needs is for you to be there for her. She needs you to be physically present and mindfully present. If you are checking out on your phone or checking out on video games all day, well, she's going to think that you're a loser, because you are. You're acting like a loser and you're failing. You're not stepping up and giving her that security. If you think that your wife is way too clingy, well, then you need to provide security for her. You need to help her through that, just as the wife is supposed to help the man when he's sitting. Well, if your wife is just overly clingy, well, she's probably lacking something, and you need to give her that security. So even other than, like, you're using the word foundation, but I really think women desire security. But you need to find out, as the man, well, what makes my wife feel secure in our relationship? What makes her feel secure in life? And then provide those things. I do think too, with women being the delicate flower, women, even if they're not meaning to be, just, we all know, like, women just are more manipulative. It just is, and it's something that we need to work through. We don't,
popular opinion.
Yeah, apparently. we don't want to be manipulating our husbands as wives. That's sinful. You know, when we truly love someone, we should be able to tell them the truth in kindness and in love, and then let them make their free will choices based off of the truth, rather than trying to manipulate someone into doing what you want them to do. That's actually very unloving. So, men, your wife is going to manipulate you. But
that's true.
So you need to know this. The husbands need to know the wife, even in her tears and there are going to be times when, I don't know what way to say it other than this way, when, like a child, your wife is going to need a little bit of discipline from the head of the household. Okay.
Whoa, what are you saying?
Yeah. So I'm just saying that there are times when your wife is going to need a gentle rebuke in love when she's sinning, or when she's not stepping up to the potential that you know that your wife can be. It is your job as a husband to sanctify your wife. You're the head of the household, the spiritual leader of your home, and it is your job to present your wife at the end of your marriage, to present your wife to Christ. And she better be sanctified. She better be clean. You better wash her with the word. So when she is being manipulative, you as the head of the household, who are supposed to have the eyes to see what's really going on, because she might not, through her emotions, through her past, through whatever's going on, you need to be there to gently rebuke her in love and tell her, look, whatever it is that is going on with her, look, the way that you're talking to me, I don't like it. It hurts me. You are being very condescending, and you need to stop doing that. Whatever it is, you've been nagging me on this issue. Like, I'm sorry that I have failed in painting the barn, or whatever it is that she wants. I don't know what she wants. Fixing that light bulb. I'm sorry. I've had a really long week at work, and I would like it if you could just be grateful that I'm working so hard to keep the lights on in this house. I don't know. Like,
you're so bad at being a man. That's not how men talk.
I know, but I'm saying this is, I know, whatever. So you take over. You take over. I don't know if you agree with any of this advice,
there's definitely times where
there's
that
a
needs
time
to happen.
where it's like, okay,
There's
this
times.
is enough. You've pushed me enough, and now I need to put my foot down, and I need to put my foot down and regain order and control of this household, because there's going to be a time where all of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh, like my wife is ruling this house, and that's a sin on your part as a man.
Yeah, I think the area that I probably see this the most in is when it comes to like disciplining kids, actually. Like, women, generally speaking, are way less heavy on disciplining kids. That's not true for all women, but for some.
And I do think that's part of God's design.
Yeah, no, I do think that's not a bad thing. It's just
a difference.
Just a fact. Yeah, so sometimes, they can start to nag the husband or to bring up often the fact that maybe they're a little bit more overbearing in their discipline or something like that. And that's the balance of husbands and wives, right? But that's probably the area that I see it the most in. And there is going to be a time where a husband will probably have to say something along the lines of, no, this needs to be in order. The child can't disrespect us in this way. And that's kind of the area that I probably see it the most in, is disciplining kids. But I mean, it could be really anything.
Yeah, it could be anything.
It could be anything.
I think discipline is just the hardest because it's an ongoing, ever-changing thing that you're dealing with in the marriage. It's different for every kid, and it's different in every season. And yeah, I think it's just because that's constantly changing. Mm-hmm. So it's something that you're always having to discuss. And you are always walking the line between discipline and grace. And so I think that's why that one comes up a lot. But also because we're exposed to a lot of new marriages, younger marriages, new children. And yeah, from the outside looking in, you just so often with first-time parents moving from the baby stage to the toddler stage, the mom almost wants to... It's difficult. It's difficult to navigate. I mean, we've been through it. So maybe that's a whole other video on like navigating your first child or discipline, whatever. I do think like navigating your marriage through your first child is really, really difficult.
Hard, yeah.
Yeah, and as they turn from baby to toddler, it's hard for the mom because all she's ever known is them as a baby, and it's hard for her to start seeing that they're growing up and they have different needs. Yeah. And the husband has spent so long, maybe a year or longer, kind of taking a back seat in the parenting because it is the mom's job to take care of the baby. And then all of a sudden things start changing, and that's difficult to navigate. And that's when the discipline starts coming, but the mom feels this need to like protect her baby, not knowing that the child's not really a baby anymore. Yeah. And the husband does need to start disciplining.
You hate to see this when the kid is like 4 years old, 5 years old.
And I'm talking a year.
Yeah, we're talking like a year.
I'm talking 1 year old.
You know when you see it when the kid is still like very much under his mom's wing, not allowed to do anything. Oh man, we were literally just talking
when they're 25 years old and they're still a mama's boy.
I know, it's so bad. So that's why we're really hammering this in now. But we'll talk about this on a different time.
Yeah, I think it's out of the scope of this.
Yeah. So what do we got? More relationship advice, marriage advice, unsolicited advice. Yeah,
from your big brother and sister.
What's some more unsolicited? You should be becoming one flesh often. Serious.
I know.
That's important advice. That is
that's
really
just not what
necessary
I was
to say.
I have to say that out loud.
Yeah, often. You should be having children.
And contraception's a sin.
That's for a different video, for sure. I would agree, but
I do give that as unsolicited advice because it's a biblical truth.
Yeah. Children are a blessing. Period. You shouldn't be preventing blessings.
Yeah, anyway. And I'm not ashamed to say biblical truths.
Yeah, that's true.
I do tell people that. No one listens, but I still tell them.
Yeah. So what should we talk about? I think a topic that maybe we can talk about is the submission of the wife, because this is, I mean, you want to talk about things that are misconstrued or abused, this is going to be probably like number one on everyone's list, is like, oh, you're saying that women need to submit? Oh, well, that means abuse, essentially, right? That just means the husband can abuse the wife. And this is very much not true, if done right? I often joke with my wife, she's a very strong Italian woman, very strong. Definitely not, what would you say, weak in any way? Weaker vessel, but not like weak in spirit, right?
Oh, thanks.
So I always tell her, I'm like, it takes a very strong woman to submit to a man, because, I mean, think about the natural state of women.
Humanity.
And yeah, the
Just
natural
humans.
state is that you don't want to submit. You want to be free. You want to be your own person, and blah, 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 right? A very American individualism. But in the curse, in Genesis, it does say that her desire, the woman's desire will be for the man. And everyone who knows anything about biblical hermeneutics is that is a statement about her desiring his position of authority. She wants it. It's part of the fallen nature of women. So it takes a very strong woman and a very spiritual woman to realize this about herself and to knowingly submit to her husband. In the same way husbands, we're supposed to submit to Christ, and women submit to Christ too, of course. But you see what I'm saying? It's like, it's not a weakness. It's not a sign of weakness that you're submitting. It's a sign of strength. It means that you have overcome almost like the curse by being able to do it. It's a very strong thing. And that's why I want to kind of clarify this a little bit, because most people think that to submit, it means like you're a slave, you're pathetic, oh, look, you're oppressed, and all this stuff. And I just think that this is a completely misconstrued idea, and it takes something that is beautiful and it turns it into something disgusting. And just some advice for women, if any women are even watching this. There is nothing more beautiful to a man than a gentle and a quiet spirit. There's nothing more beautiful to a man than a submissive wife. It's just a fact. And any man who says otherwise is... I got some words for those guys. No, there's nothing more beautiful. I tell my wife this all the time. There's nothing more beautiful to me than to see her nurturing and caring for her children. Not being some, what do they call those? Like the boss feminists, whatever, doing like saving the world. No, I'm not attracted to that.
To a lesbian.
No man is attracted to that. That's why all these superhero movies keep failing. No, we want a wife who is beautiful, who is quiet spirit, who is gentle and caring and submissive. This is what men are attracted to. And any man who says otherwise is completely brainwashed and a complete fool, honestly. They're just brainwashed completely. So, if you have any thoughts on that.
Yeah, well, I think, again, the issue of submission is like a whole video.
Yeah, definitely.
And I don't think that a gentle and quiet spirit is the same thing as being quiet. I like it,
Oh, she's an Italian.
I am loud. I like to talk. We do street evangelism, and I am not... I talk. I say things. If you're watching some of these videos, I have no problem saying things. So that's not... you got to figure out spiritually what that means for yourself as a woman. Sorry. I do think that you need to wrestle with that. This is just advice for women. You need to wrestle with what is the role that God has given you, using the personality and the gifts that he's given you. What does your biblical femininity look like? Not denying yourself, but becoming truly who Jesus made you to be. And since you talked about, women, being submissive, I'll add also, okay, we only submit to our husbands. We don't submit to every male out there.
Yeah, and you really shouldn't be.
Yeah, that's gross.
That's disgusting.
Yeah, it's gross.
Yeah.
Find yourself a man that you're going to be willing to submit to. That's the advice.
Important too.
Because there are so many people. He knows, when we get in a Bible study and I know that someone's not qualified to be teaching, I'm just like, we should not be in this Bible study. This is gross. I'm supposed to submit to this guy just because of his gender. That's not biblical either. He's not qualified just because he's a guy.
Yeah.
That's not God. That's not why God qualifies people.
That's why I give that advice in my other video. You know, you gotta really make sure that you are a man that is, you know, respectable and able to be submitted to. Because if you're a pushover, if you're, you know, put it bluntly, like a loser, it's going to be very difficult to find a woman who will want to submit to you. It shouldn't be a massive chore. Like, I'm not saying it's easy, but it shouldn't be like impossible to submit to you.
It should be a joy.
Yeah, it shouldn't be overly difficult. Don't make it harder on your wife than it needs to be, okay?
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say here. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's not easy. I was going to say with the submission thing, there are going to be times when you really truly believe that your husband's making the wrong decision. And
Never
you're
happened
still
to me, by the way. Never.
I'm not speaking from experience here. You're still going to have to submit in those times. And in those times, I do think that in those times when we are submitting, even when they're making the wrong decision, not that you've ever made a wrong decision in your life, Josh.
That's correct.
But we can take comfort and solace that ultimately we're submitting to God's will. And God has a higher desire and plan than we can fathom as small children of faith. So I think about, not that this happens often, right? But you can think about, I don't know if it's in 1 Peter or 2 Peter, but where it says that, you know, the believing spouse should
sanctifies her husband.
Yes, yeah. Sanctifies her husband. The believing wife sanctifies her husband, her unbelieving husband. So if your husband is struggling with some sort of unbelief, right, or whatever, your submissiveness to his decision, to his authority, his authority is a responsibility. It's a really big burden that he bears, and it's something that we should, as women, be in awe of and in reverence of. If the husband is like Christ is to the church, the wife is the church, and the husband is Christ, we should be in awe and in reverence of the burden that he's bearing for us. So anyway, our submissiveness to that authority will sanctify him. That's a promise from God. And God's purposes are so much higher than ours. So if we're submitting, if we've told him our piece, right? We've told him, look, I don't think this is a good idea. These are my reasons. And then you lay it to rest. You listen to God's word. You don't nag, and you submit.
Yeah, I think there's a reason why it says won over without a word. Specifically, I think it's very on the nose, and it works. Why it says that.
It works because things will happen, and he will learn, and God will take care of it for you. It's not your job to change your husband, to lead him where he's supposed to go, to be his mom. It's God's job to be his head. It's his job to submit to God and to take care of you and to sacrifice his life for you, like Christ sacrificed himself for the church. And it's just your job to submit. That's just what your job is as the wife. And it should be a joy. When you submit, it should release you. Release that burden from you. Release that responsibility. So you can be the
gentle flower.
Yes, so you can just... I mean, it really should be a joy. I know it isn't always, but God has his plan for that as well. And that's just a different thing.
Yeah, being rightly ordered is massively important. Just like the rightly ordered household, if everything is in order the way that God designed it to be, things are going to go way smoother than any other human concoction that we could possibly come up with. So if the husband is the head of the wife and then they're the head of the children and Christ is the head overall, if that's rightly ordered, things are going to be so much better than if things are out of order. What we often see today is either the wife is the head or the children are the head. And oh, that's the worst one. If the children are the head of the house, man, you got to fix that. But that's for the discipline video again. Yeah, so I don't know. Any other advice that you gave while you were out there?
I think that's most of it, because I think we're getting off into other stuff here.
Definitely.
Submission is just its own thing, and I do think it's just like a little more mature. Like, it's not like these are, this isn't like the practical newlywed advice of, don't nag. That's like a practical, newlywed advice that you can act out. But learning to be submissive and the beauty of that and what that truly means biblically is a giant topic. Because of course, then you also have to talk about the husband's role and sacrificing himself for the wife. Definitely. They're hand in hand, of course.
Other things I would say for guys especially, I talked earlier about like throwing away your hobbies, especially after you have kids. Other things would be like, don't prioritize your friends over your wife. That's a one I see pretty often. I feel like is guys who are constantly going out, and this goes to like anything, prioritizing like literally anything, like your job, anything over your wife. I see tons, usually in the older generations, of guys who they go to work for 60 to 70 hours a week, always, for their entire marriage. They barely see their kids. They barely spend time with their wives. And you just see what kind of havoc that wreaks on the entire family. The whole family is in disorder because of that. There is nothing that is going to replace time with your family. I don't care how much money you make. I don't care. I'll make $30,000 a year before I make, $100,000 working those hours. I won't do it, because time is the most important thing that your kids are going to desire, that your wife is going to desire. And if you throw those things away and you prioritize other things, whether it's friends or work or whatever over that, they are going to resent you for it. They might not be able to articulate that resentment, but they are going to resent you for leaving them and abandoning them. Even though you're providing all of their needs or whatever, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So
because you're not providing.
Yeah, you're not.
You're not providing the security. That's what I was talking about with the security before. You 100%. Think that you're providing by providing financial security, but humans are so much more than finances.
Totally, yeah.
Yeah. And you're essentially abandoning your children as the head of the household. You're leaving your wife to be the head of the household alone, and she can't be a father.
Other super practical advice.
Yeah, I was going to say, rapid fire. Give me your practical advice for young newlywed men. Rapid fire.
Yeah, so, I mean, Tatiana and I got married very quickly, and that was a very big change for both of us, I would assume.
Oh, yeah. I was never married before.
Yeah, and I think that one of the big things that you kind of have for each other is just a lot of grace in those times of, now you're living together, and hopefully you haven't been living together before marriage. Now you're living together, now you're trying to figure out all these different things, and even like house chores, like who takes out the garbage, who makes the bed, who does the laundry, all those things. And there's going to be a lot of confusion in kind of ordering those things, but those things will just kind of fall into place. But just my advice in that time is going to be just be as gracious as you can, and always having that mindset. I know it's kind of a cliche, but like the mindset of you guys are on the same team. They're not your enemies sabotaging you, hopefully. They are your teammate. They want what's best for you. Don't forget that, even when stupid things, the things that you may argue about are going to be hilariously stupid. Like I've heard stories of like, which way does the toilet paper go on the roll? Like, is it facing inward or outward? And people get in massive arguments over those types of things. And it's like, just remember, you're on the same team. It's not you versus them, you're together. And this is another piece of advice for when you have kids. It's not you versus your wife on how to do things with your kids. You're trying to figure it out together. So be gracious. You can't be gracious enough on these things.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I have my rapid fire off of that is... just because they do something differently than you do
doesn't mean it's wrong. And I do a lot of different things.
Yeah, so so this was actually like a meme or something that I saw online, is like the husband loads the dishwasher differently than the wife, and she reminds herself it's different, not wrong. Mm-hmm. There are things to argue and disagree about. How you load the dishwasher is not one of them, okay? There's bigger fish to fry. And I was going to say, okay, so if I had to distill my marriage advice down to one word, I would say forgiveness.
Wow.
right? Forgiveness.
Forgiveness.
You just have to be so forgiving, right? Maybe you would say gracious.
Yeah.
But I would say just forgiving. You don't want any sort of bitter roots to grow.
Oh, I got one.
Okay.
Yeah, don't let the sun go down while you are angry.
Yes,
Do not. That verse should be the anthem of your marriage.
It was for ours in the first year.
The sun go down while you are angry. That means you do not go to sleep. You do not sleep. You will stay up all night. I don't care.
We did.
And we did, and it's way better that way.
It's worth it.
You stay up all night if you have to until you figure out how to make up.
Yeah,
that is a rule. That is a rule. I don't care what's going on tomorrow. I don't care what the kids have. I don't care. You will stay up 4 or 5 a.m. You'll stay up till the crack of dawn. I don't care until you figure out how to fix the thing and you make up. And then you make up. You know what I mean? Marriage. You're married. It's not a sin. It's good.
No, it is good. It's just...
It's a rule. Yeah, that's super important. And then what else? Any other rapid fire advice, Tatiana?
That was the biggest one.
Yeah, don't let the sun go down while you're
angry.
Don't
let it go down. But you both have to be willing. That's what I'm saying, forgiveness. You both have to be willing to forgive. Because we've seen the marriage that ended in divorce where they were up all night, every night, and he still had to work all day the next day doing manual labor, and she kept him up all night listening, and he listened,
but no forgiveness.
There was no forgiveness on her end. Yeah, he sinned, but she would not forgive. Yeah. And now they're divorced. So
not good.
I really think you have to be willing to forgive no matter what the other person has done. If they're seeking, if they're repentant, you forgive them. And that is on you. And yeah, it sucks that you have to just suck it up. And
oh, yeah.
But that's what Jesus Christ did for us on the cross. And he'll take care of it. You don't have to take care of it. Forgiveness is something that you just give to God.
It's good for both of you.
It is.
Yeah.
Other advice that I've heard that's old is always go to bed together. I do like that. We do stick to that.
Pray together.
Ooh, okay.
That's big. You got to pray together.
Out loud.
Yeah, out loud. Out loud. Your wife needs to hear you praying for her. She needs it, preferably with the laying on of hands as well. I don't know why that's so much better, but it is. The Bible says to do it. So, yeah, laying on of hands, pray with your wife, pray out loud with your wife. And do it often. I mean, not even just like once per day. We do it every night, but I mean...
But throughout the day, as things arise, just do it right then and there, right?
Yeah.
Don't give the devil a foothold.
Something difficult just came up. Lord, help us.
Yeah,
just that simple. Literally that simple. It just changes the mood. It sets the tone for how this decision is going to be made or how this problem is going to be overcome. Pray together. You should be... probably reading the Bible together.
That was gonna be my next one. Too, yeah. I'm
like
surprised we haven't said that until now, but it's so ingrained in our life.
I know. Yeah, it's like so.
So it's like
natural.
we don't even. It's just natural. It's like breathing. It's like of course we're talking about the Bible. Of course we're reading the Bible. Of course we're going to church together. I mean, these are like things that you wouldn't even think that you would need to.
Yeah, need to even say. Yeah,
but
I mean,
you do.
The husbands are supposed to sanctify their wives with the Word, and you know what is the Word? It's the Bible. So you should be reading the Bible together. You know, husbands, do your best to teach your wife the Bible. You know, that's pretty simple advice, I feel like. So.
Yeah, simple. Just start with the basics. Read the Bible together, pray together, sleep together.
I'm sure, like, after we end this, I'm going to think of, like, 10 other things that I'm going to be like, oh, wow, that would have been great to say.
I know, but we're talking to Christian. I don't know. It's like, yeah, it stinks that you do have to say out loud, oh, you guys should be reading the Bible together. The other thing that I would say is make sure that you are still dating each other. Continue to date your spouse.
Keep courting your wife,
Yeah, go on dates, give her flowers, you know, dress up for him, make yourself look nice. Like, don't turn into a slob. I'm serious.
I know, it's so funny because we always joke, like, I don't do that. I don't dress up
you know,
at
the
all.
guy doesn't have to dress up.
I know, it's just so
it's
funny.
It's fun for the girl to dress up. I like dressing up.
Yeah.
And I like being beautiful for my husband. Like, and my husband tends to like that as well.
What do you think? Should I give my advice here of, like, don't be disgusting just because you're married? Like, you have all these... should I even say
Well, I think that goes for both. Yeah, don't be
like,
disgusting.
If you're a man, like, don't just, like, let yourself go because you're married. I feel like this... I mean, obviously it applies both ways, but, like, I see it a lot. You really do. Just because you're married now doesn't mean you don't need to like keep in shape a little. I'm not saying you gotta be like Arnold Schwarzenegger, but like do some push-ups or run a little.
And like
bit.
after you have kids, like of course there's grace. You have a different body. I still have a different body. Like you know, it's not any. It's just you just don't be
husbands
like
be gracious
disgusting.
with your wife as well. You know, especially after they have kids. You don't like. Well, you don't look like a supermodel anymore. If you do that, you're awful. That's terrible. She just got done bearing your child for you, and you're ragging
you should
on
definitely
her.
think she's more beautiful.
Yeah,
she'll be beautiful in a different way. Like she's not just there as like an object for you to lust after. She's a human being. Who's. I mean, this is just like 101.
I know. Well, you think it would be, but I see that a lot too.
Well, of course, I know.
It's a
but
rough one.
The relationship doesn't. If that's what's happening after you have your first child, the relationship already did.
Yeah, there was something wrong way before that ever happened.
Yeah, the foundations
way before.
were not in Christ.
Yeah,
it wasn't. No.
Yeah, and I think a piece of advice we got while we were in marriage counseling, not marriage counseling, new marriage counseling? Premarital counseling.
But we did it after we got married because we got married so fast.
Yeah, so premarital counseling that we got was just, you know, and maybe you've heard this before, but like you have to see your relationship as like a triangle, not like, you know, and the way it goes is like the husband is here, the wife is here, God's up here. And the more that the two of you love God, the closer that you'll become. And I mean, I think that that's true for sure.
Definitely.
I mean, it's a shame when one person really loves God and the other person's going in like the opposite direction. That's never good. So, yeah, both of you should love God more and more every single day, and that's going to be
primarily.
Yeah, primarily. Yeah, you should love God more than you love your spouse.
Definitely, more than you love anyone.
More than you love anything or anyone. Yeah. So you don't want to idolize your spouse. You don't want to idolize anything. That's not going to be.
That's
healthy.
A burden that you place on your spouse.
Yeah.
Rather
because
than
they're never going to be able to live up to the idolization anyway. So. Man, there's so many things. Any questions? If anyone has any questions, drop a comment. We'll get to it in our next video. Like, subscribe. You guys know the deal. This is my beautiful wife, Tatiana. I hope you enjoyed having her on as well. Thank you very much.